Well, that's a really great question. But you make a really good point, Jana, in the sense that for so long, I think humans and scientists never really attributed personality.
Brian. Hi, Raphaelle. How are you guys doing today? Good?
Doing well. Yeah.
Good. Thank you so much for your time. It's a pleasure to talk to you both. And amazing. I watched the 4 episodes and I thought it was like, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's oh my God. And I wanna start with you, Brian.
Okay.
I know that you've been like in 24 locations. You've been working on this for 3 years. What was about the whales that made you pick? You already work with sharks and dolphins, but what was about the whales that wanted you to do this miniseries?
Yeah, well, thanks for that. The reason I created Secrets of the Whales is because of my love for these animals. You're right. I honestly enjoy being in the water with all kinds of creatures. I love sharks. I love everything in the ocean. But there's something very special about whales. They are highly intelligent, very high degree of cognition. And so for very selfish reasons, I like being next to whales. It's very special. But I also was doing a lot of research as to what the story would be, what the narrative would be. And I discovered that some of the latest and greatest science that's being published these days about whales is showing that they have culture, that they do things much like humans in many respects. And to me, that was very different. That was a unique way of looking at the ocean and looking at our planet through the lens of culture, because I think if we understand that there are these intelligent alien species in our oceans that have families and personality, and they're passing on ancestral traditions to their children, their young, that's a very unique way of seeing our planet. It changes how we perceive nature and our connection to it. So that was how I came to form it. And then, of course, you have to do it. Then you have to deliver the goods. So that's a different story. But in its infancy, it was this very ambitious idea of trying to bring people into the world of whales.
Yeah, amazing. And Raphaelle, for you, how did you come on board on this project? And I know the whales is very inspirational, but what was the inspiration for composing the music for the miniseries?
Sure. I think I came on board after they had stopped filming. So really when we had the first footage for the orca episode, the first one. And I think it was through one of my agents who had met the Red Rock Films team maybe a couple of years before, and they reached out to my agents a year after, and I was supposed to compose maybe 1 episode out of the 4, and I ended up doing the whole series, which I'm really, really grateful for. And yeah, so it was very easy in a way that it was very empowering in a way that Brian Armstrong gave me so much freedom musically and creatively. I just maybe had a few bullet points, about the things they didn't want, the things they absolutely wanted. But apart from that, I really felt like I could come up with the creative angles for every single episode. And that was a beautiful experience. I wish all the projects, for composing were like that.
It was easy, right? But some of them are more difficult, right? And come back to you, Brian. Like you said that the whales can be compared to humans, in the sense the way that they live, they pass into their generations. And what was the most moody ones? The orca, the belugas. What was the most difficult ones to shoot? Most difficult to, or the easiest one to be with?
Well, that's a really great question. But you make a really good point, Jana, in the sense that for so long, I think humans and scientists never really attributed personality to animals. We science like to be very clinical. We didn't think that animals had personality, but they do, right? I mean, if you have 5 golden retrievers in your life, or 5 whatever species of dog, you know that they all have their own personality. They might have certain characteristics that are unique to that breed, but they do things a little differently. So animals do too, and whales very much so. I don't know which were the most moody, but I would say that they are all very challenging to photograph because so many things have to line up. The weather has to be good to get out in a boat. The sun has to be shining because the whales are so big, we can't light them. So you have to have bright sun for good pictures. The visibility underwater has to be reasonably clear. I can't use a telephoto lens. So I must get very close to the whales, maybe a few meters. That means the whale has to let you close. And sometimes they're just not interested. Sperm whales spend most of their lives feeding. They go down hundreds of meters to feed on squid, to eat squid. And they only stay on the surface breathing for 15, 20 minutes at a time. But every day or every few days, they come together as a family and they socialize, they rub together and they bite each other and they play and they close their eyes. So those are the moments you're waiting for. And that's the special stuff that you're trying to capture. You want to show their families, their culture, their personalities, all of those things. Each species has unique challenges. When you're in the Arctic, it's very difficult. You're in a remote place. There's nobody around for thousands of miles. You're living in a tent, and you're trying to capture behavior that has never been captured before. We had to build new remote cameras, place them underwater. So many things can go wrong. So it is about the individual species, their personality, their behaviors. Some are more friendly, but I don't know that it's species based as much as it is just that animal. On any given day, you might get lucky and the whale comes over and feeds you a stingray. Another time, a sperm whale lets you close to when it's nursing its calf, the mom and baby, something that had never been seen before, photographed before. So I think the more time you can spend in the field with these animals, the more magic is revealed. And that's why 3 years, 24 locations was necessary. But even then, there's no guarantee. So we got very lucky.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like, you need to be very patient. I don't know if I would have that patience to do all of this, but I think it's amazing, the work that you did before and the work that you did for this miniseries is amazing. And come back to you, Raphaelle. Did you use any musical instruments, a specific one, or any software? How was like the creation? Because it's a little different from some work that you did before, right?
Yeah, actually, it was all what we call all in the box, meaning that there was no live player involved. It was from the beginning not even in the equation, but also I think COVID really didn't make it easy, because when I started writing for the whales, it was in March last year, so it was basically when it started at the worst time, especially in New York. So that was not really an option. So the only instruments that you hear that are real are my voice and my piano. All the rest is softwares, what we call plug-in instruments, very expensive instruments that are digital that you can purchase to create your own orchestra. And these are basically, and there's also a lot of hybrid elements to it. So by hybrid, I mean, synths or pads or drones that are electronic. And for the whale song, so there's the whale sound that you can hear sometimes in my music, I've used synthesizers. So it's really a mix of synthetic and live and orchestral instruments in the box.
Yeah, it was really good. I really liked it, because I always pay attention to that. I just want to thank you so much, Brian, for your time, Raphaelle for your time, and also saluting on the miniseries, having seen on the river, like just narrating, James Cameron involved in everything, and I wish all the luck. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Dana.
Bye.
If you like this video, don't forget to comment, to like, and subscribe to our channel right here.